Hello, everyone. Welcome again to Woodside SDA Youth, where we are doing the Bible reading plan. And today we're supposed to read Exodus chapters 35 to chapters 37. And this is coming fresh off last time where we left off, the where God renews the covenant with the people. And like we studied, it's not a brand new covenant, but it's like the same one as before. But since the people of Israel broke it, God reinstituted it again. He says, I'm still with you guys. The promise still goes on, and I love you and I forgive you. So, chapter 35, we see Sabbath regulations. Then we go more on the tabernacle. Like it talks about the offerings of the tabernacle, the articles of the tabernacle, and Moses then asks for offerings in order to build the tabernacle, right? Then we see again the artisans called by God, artisans who receive the spirit of art and to carry on this beautiful task of building the tabernacle. In chapter 36, we see the start of the building of this amazing project, the tabernacle. And then chapter 37 goes on to show specific parts and items of the tabernacle. And in chapter 38, which we will touch tomorrow, it goes even on more items that were in there. So, like we do on these very short videos, we're gonna ask the question. The first question is, what new things did I learn? So one new thing that I learned is that maybe I should have known this for a long time ago, but when it came to describe the table of the showbread in chapter 37, I didn't realize that it was all gold. Like I always thought it was just a regular table, you know, just wood, which is actually was made of wood, but I didn't know it was all covered in gold. And not even that, but all the bowls and the utensils there were all showered in gold. I also see how uh, God and Moses, as he's writing this, inspired by the Holy Spirit, how specific he goes on every detail of every item in the tabernacle. Like it gives the measurements, what he put in it, how they made it, everything. And I thought that was very interesting. I didn't know it went that detailed on these items. So, second part, the second question, what new things, actually, no, what questions do I have about the reading? And I think now that we're talking about the items in the tabernacle, and also I guess the whole tabernacle in itself, I have questions. Do that now that God inspired the people like Bezalel and Eliab to build the tabernacle and all the items in it, did they know how to build it? Like I guess God gave them the wisdom, but did they were they did they carry on their history of artwork in other cultures, for example in Egypt, and they brought those skills into making the tabernacle? Thus the tabernacle items and everything that has been described here, do they match other cultures, its style of building things? For example, does the I don't know, the Ark of the Covenant, does it look like something that other cultures had at that time? Did the table of showbread look like something that other people had at that time? Did the altar of incense, did it look like things from that era? And that raises the question, where it was the tabernacle, all this was this whole thing influenced by the cultures around it? Like I know it was God's plan, I know it was God's instruction and wisdom, but did it resemble some of the things, some of the artwork of that age? I think that's something very important to ask, in order to be ready to answer difficult questions about you know, the holiness of this thing, right? Another question I have is straight off the bat in chapter 35, where we were supposed to start reading for today, where Moses tells everybody to worship on the Sabbath, and he says, whoever breaks the Sabbath will be put to death, right? And I feel like if we were to preach this today, I don't think we will be getting a lot of people to join our churches, right? So I kind of want to ask the question, why God says here that they will be put to death, and now and more in the future, like a lot of people broke the Sabbath, but they weren't put to death, right? So why now, and what's different here than it is different now or today, right? Why the intensity? I guess I myself can come up with solutions to this. Is like, I guess, this is the beginning, this is the foundation, and God wanted to teach them the importance of this day, because a lot of them having failing so much, right? And maybe this was the only way to teach them, but that kind of that kind of falls in the category of God forcing people, right? So this is one of my questions. If you have a better insightful answer, or an insightful answer, because I didn't give any here, please leave it down in the comments. I will gladly be able would like to study the Sabbath day and these difficult passages with you. So the last point, what can we apply to our everyday life? Something very interesting that I saw in chapter 36 is that when God asks them for offerings or like to donate from their hearts, gold, jewelry, so that they can make this plan possible, like the plan of building the tabernacle and making it as beautiful as it's supposed to be. It says here in chapter 36 that our people gave more than enough, to the point where Moses gave a commandment. It's like, stop giving, please stop giving a lot. Like, and this is very beautiful because we just came from an ugly scene of them like just worshiping another God. And now we see that God asked them, whatever is in your heart, give it. And they gave so much, right? We see a kind of a transformation here. We see that God doesn't give up on these people. You see also the people making an effort to make things right. They kind of felt motivated that God forgave them. They feel filled with the Spirit that God renewed their covenant with them. And now from their hearts, they are giving this to God. And I think it's very beautiful that how God doesn't force them, like, build this house, build it right now, right? He asks whoever is willing, please give. And they gave so much. Everybody, probably people didn't give a lot. Maybe one of them gave this, one of them gave that. But since there were a lot of them, everybody just, accumulated all the things that they had. And it turned out to be so abundantly, so much things, that they could use. And I think we can apply this to our lives. There are many times where our church needs something, needs probably better sound system, needs new chairs, or maybe they just need to move to a better place because the church is growing too much and the building is not that big to hold everybody. And now that with the COVID, not a lot of people can fit in those buildings, right? There are many times where we think, well, the church doesn't have a lot of money. I don't think it's possible. So let's not plan this. Let's not plan that. Let's not gather money for this. Let's not gather money for that. Let's just do something small, something, not too big. Um, let's not dream that big, right? But I think here it kind of teaches us that uh, even though you may not have wealthy people in your congregation, even though the church may be struggling with a little financially, and you kind of feel discouraged, I think if everybody willingly from their heart gives just enough what they have, and everybody puts it together, I think we can accumulate a lot of things, and the church can do so many great things for their community. It can do so many great things for the area they're working in. It can do so many great things for the unbelievers that are living around the area. So I guess what I'm trying to tell you is, if you feel discouraged about like not being able to do big things for your church, now just looking at the state of your church financially and thinking this is impossible, I think you can make a difference. Everybody can make a difference. Maybe you're working a part-time job, maybe you don't actually have a job, but I think you can give what you have, which is your talents. And if you do have the means to give monetary assistance, I think from your heart you should be able to give something, something. And everybody has this spirit. We can do so much things in this church. We can move on forward. We can create new programs, new amazing programs that can reach out different types of people in our community. So I would like you to think about this. I hope the Holy Spirit fills you with peace, happiness, and prosperity. We're all going through difficult times, but we can always give something, to God. And if everybody just gives that something, I think we can do so many great things for Him. God bless you.